I'm going to start my speech off today by reading an excerpt from an article that has to deal with the program I'm going to be talking about later. This takes place in Lakeview Elementary School in Madison, Wisconsin. Maggie would not get out from behind my legs. "It's okay, Maggie," I said gently. "Remember I told you that Chrissy was coming to school today to eat lunch with you and then play a game with you during recess." I carefully grasped her small first-grade hand in mine and pulled her out from behind me. Chrissy squatted down to look Maggie right in the eye. "Hi, Maggie," Chrissy said excitedly. "I am so glad to have you as my special little sister. I was wondering if you might like to play Candyland after we eat." Maggie nodded as she tried to hide a grin behind her fingers of one hand, while the other hand stayed glued to mine. "Why don't I grab the game and you two can just follow me? I'll show you the room where you guys can hang out," I said as I led them out of my office. With Maggie gripping my fingers and stealing glances at Chrissy, we made our way down the hallway. We also passed Maggie's class as we went. I heard one of Maggie's classmates call out, "Maggie, where are you going?" Maggie's grin only got bigger. As we got closer to their room, I was explaining to Chrissy that I would come back in a few minutes to check in on them and see how everything was going. "Okay, here's the spot," I said as I led them to a small study room sandwiched in between two kindergarten rooms. Maggie was openly smiling now. She let her hand fall out of mine as I started to speak. "You guys can go ahead and pick anywhere to sit, and I will be back in a few minutes. Have fun." I offered this as I headed back towards the door. "Please let this match go okay," I thought to myself as I hesitated in the hallway. Before I headed back to my office, I could not resist taking one more glimpse inside to see how Maggie was doing. I quietly took a step back in the study room and peeked around the corner. As I did, I could hear Chrissy asking Maggie where she would like to sit and eat. "I thought over there in the back," Maggie answered quietly. As Chrissy started to head in that direction, she paused and offered her hand to Maggie. Maggie grinned up at Chrissy and reached out to wrap those first-grade fingers around her big sister's hand. Whether it's a shy first grader, a third grader who has lost a loved one, or a fifth grader who is dealing with domestic violence, there are thousands of children in the world who just need a cheerleader in their life to motivate them. Many children find mentors and guidance, but there are the unlucky ones that are left to make the decisions on their own. There are a number of ways that we as students can make a difference in helping a child. Today, we will first look at the number of children on waiting lists for mentors. Second, we will look at the organizations that are striving to fulfill the missing comfort in these children's lives. And last, I will explain not only what the children get out of these commitments, but what the mentor gets as well. First and foremost, I'm going to tell you how many children out there that are needing mentors. Mentoring.org reported that 17 million people between the ages 8 and 18 are in need. And this statistic hasn't decreased one bit since 2005. It also reports that over 2 million are in formal mentor programs. And it reports approximately 15 million kids are on the waiting list. These programs extend over the U.S., 4,100 strong. Mentors, big brothers, big sisters, child advocates, youth villages, and many other local mentoring programs can be found nearby. Mentors, the largest mentoring program in the nation, but Big Brothers and Big Sisters Association is the largest in Indiana. Big Brothers and Big Sisters also shows that students are half as likely to skip school, and they're almost 30% less likely to begin using alcohol and getting into fights. You might ask, what does mentoring a child do for the mentor? Well, less than a third of teens over 16 are already volunteering according to the Census Bureau. Big Brothers and Big Sisters does a study on why people don't volunteer and put an ad out in hopes to recruit. And It's an escape zone for the big and the little. Also, you can get involved with activities you love to do. For instance, I like to bowl, but I can never find the time to go by myself. So if you have a little, you can both benefit from it. You feel like you are serving a purpose for someone in the world. You should never feel forced to do a mentoring program because you will make the child feel even more unwanted. And last but not least, it's a chance to remember your youth and remind each other that life should be fun. In my conclusion, Gisela Bushy, which is the ex-director of Child Advocates in California, stated, "I can't stress enough the value of having a stable, caring adult presence in a child's life. If you would have the chance to change a child's life, why wouldn't you?" Recruiting members is such a challenge for these organizations because it's hard for them to explain to people like us, you don't need any special skills or training to just be a friend for the child. I hope all of you will think about the number of children out there in need of someone like you, all the mentoring programs that are trying to get you involved, and what you can get out of it too. If you could make a difference in the future of a child's life by signing up to just donate a few hours a month, would you do it?